providing resources and comfort to caregivers. This is Caregiver Crossing.
Hello, and thank you for joining us this week on Caregiver Crossing. My name is Candace Hattabaugh, and on behalf of myself, Tina McIntosh, and Terry Stacy, we would like to wish you all a very happy holiday season. We are taking some time to step away and love on our families and take care of them, as I hope that you are able to do as well. But rest assured, we'll be back at the top of the year with fresh Caregiver Crossing episodes each week. And you can always count on us to be the place to uplift you, encourage you, and provide you with education and hopefully a good laugh. On behalf of Caregiver Crossing, I am wishing you a joyful holiday season filled with warmth, love, and comfort. So for now, enjoy this best of show filled with some of our favorite guests and segments, and we'll meet you right here at the top of the year.
Good morning. That is right. You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, and we're glad you're here. We're back. We joined you and have joined you every Saturday morning for several years prior to COVID. And now you will find us right here every Sunday morning. And we're glad you're with us. For those of you that may be hearing us for the very first time, Caregiver Crossing is a show brought to you by Joyce House, presented in partnership with Cardon and Associates. And once again, we're a week away from the greatest spectacle in racing, and you're here with us. We've got lots to talk about, but this show really was created for family caregivers and the people who love them. And again, you'll find us right here each Sunday morning. I'm Terry Stacy.
I'm Tina McIntosh.
Hi.
Hi, and I'm Candace Hattabaugh.
Hi.
Hey, ladies.
May does weird things to you, by the way.
We're so close. I've just, I can't tell you how many times I've wet my pants this month already, but it happens.
Why just
I'm
limit
61?
Why just limit that to May?
You're right. Anyway, how are you ladies?
I'm wonderful. I like May.
I like May too. I love it.
It's a good vibe in the air.
I like May, but I also like to talk about wetting your pants because here's why. Because this is a show
real.
for caregivers, and my dad was in the hospital not too long ago. And do you know they now have things that are external catheters?
Tell me more.
External.
Now,
I always thought they were external.
No, catheters, go in an opening and bring out the liquid, right? The urine.
Okay.
So this is, I know it's early in a Sunday, but God's aware of all the good things that are happening.
And the bad things.
Too. But these are good. So it literally, let's just say for a man, it would be like a baggie that goes over the private part. And it has a very gentle airflow to it that brings the urine out and pulls it up into a little bin. So you don't have to go through the surgical procedure or the pain of, taking it out.
That's fantastic.
It's wonderful. And for women, it's a little more complex. I could describe it almost as like a large, any kind of pad of sorts, but it does the same thing.
It's like a
Externally.
vacuum?
Externally. It's like
I
a
think it's
vacuum. That's a
great.
great way to say it.
I think that's
Interesting.
great. Yeah, you get a little fan down there too.
I don't know about that part.
But that's really, that's
It really
progress.
is great. It is progress. And really, it makes it so much easier for the patient. So, I can hook you up if you need an
Have you
external
got one in
catheter.
your purse or what do you?
I have,
carrying
what
one
I do
around?
have in my purse?
mean,
I have
don't
a pad for a duck diaper.
I don't know what.
I forgot you got ducks.
Oh, did you get ducks?
I forgot
Just
about
one.
that.
She's my little urban farmer, right?
Yeah, we got a duck.
Nothing good has happened to any of her animals. So if you tell your animal friends, if Tina McIntosh wants you to come over and live at her little farm, just say no, thank you, because the hawks will get you.
Dude, I beat a hawk off with a stick once
I know
to
you
save
did.
a chicken.
I know you have. I mean,
care.
your heart is so big for your farm animals.
Yeah.
I don't want to discourage you, but now you have a duck.
Yeah, chickens don't really last, but we did name
You
the
think
duck
the duck's going to
chicken.
last, but the chickens wouldn't last.
I'm going to put it in my bed, and she will be my best friend.
Where is she now?
She's in a little cage with the chick babies growing larger. But I'll put a diaper on her when I get home.
Well, she needs a duck friend.
Can I see this diaper?
Yeah, I will have to get my purse. And here's the deal. I just want to be very clear. You can make fun of me. I would totally make fun of you.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm not, because I
fair.
love that they have a duck diaper that somebody thought was kind of just say, you know what, here's a great invention. Ducks need diapers, and they created them and you're buying them.
I mean, just 3 of them off of Etsy. But anyway, so let's switch gears just a little bit here. So Candace and I think, if you know Candace or me, we're both obsessed with TikToks, and we send the weirdest things back and forth.
We should do one.
It's bad.
We should do one.
I think we should.
Okay, but
We'll make it happen.
For now, I saw one this morning, Candace. I thought about you, and I thought we should discuss this. It is a plastic surgeon out of Florida. Okay, He's a legit doctor doing great work. And before he puts patients under the anesthesia, he sings to them.
Oh.
Like they can pick a song.
Love it.
And he sings to them. And the one I heard, there was harmony with what appeared to be another doctor or nurse in the room. And they were singing as the anesthesia went on. And the woman, took her little nappy nap so she could have her surgery.
I could see that going viral for one, but making people wake up so much more easily with less anxiety.
I think it's wonderful.
So they say, I've had, 137 surgeries in the last 10 years. And one of the things that I was told some time ago was right before the anesthesia kicks in. So you tell your doctor, right before you give me my little happy juice, you need to please let me know because I want to, for me, pray. Mm-hmm. And, for others, it might be just, calm, meditate, whatever it is, but get yourself in a relaxed headspace. And they say that will help you recover faster, that it's been proven.
If you take a moment before or the
Yes.
music in particular.
Well, anything that calms you because you relax. And so just think about it. In a car accident, they've proven that people who tense up, they see an accident coming and they tense up, it's harder for them to recover than maybe somebody who was sleeping when the accident happened. And so I want to know from the two of you, like what would calm you? I mean, for me, definitely prayer. I think both of you would answer that too. But what else would calm you?
Oh, my goodness.
I think just someone talking to me, period. I had a colonoscopy a couple months ago, and the nurse that wheeled me back was talking to me on the way back. And as she gave me my sleeping juice, I think that was much more calming than just going in and leaving the patient alone and getting to your business of other things, like some sort of acknowledgement.
Which does happen, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
because everybody's working. You're just one of however many people coming through that day.
I agree. Somebody talking to you.
Yeah.
If I let my mind just be alone,
Oh,
I mean, I
it's
certainly would
dangerous.
say a prayer, but my mind left alone, I like somebody talking to me,
Yeah.
maybe praying with me as we go in. But I like that idea of somebody just talking to you till you fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that makes me laugh because the last time I went in for a surgery, I told them I wanted a moment, I wanted to pray, and they said, great. And so I'm lying there, and they give me the, not twilight drug because I could remember it, but whatever makes you less anxious before they put you to sleep. And so I'm in my kind of a place, and I'm praying in my head, to myself. And I get to the end and I said, in Jesus' name, amen. And I heard the whole room go, amen. And I remember my last thought was, oh, did I just say all that out loud? I don't know what I prayed for, but I could have gotten myself into some trouble.
It's a good story.
Well, and there was, with my dad being in hospice, I went to the center recently, and on the door there's a sign that says, you are entering a sacred space. Please take a moment to take a deep breath.
Wow.
And, kind of fix your energy. They didn't say that, but something like that. And I think if we all did that in moments, we'd be a little bit better.
Yeah, I
agree. Absolutely.
Great.
Well, anything else? When we come back here in a minute, we are going to have a lovely conversation with the one and only Jane Bentley. So anything else?
Let's do it.
All right. You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and people who love them. Learn more about our adult day and caregiver support services by calling us at 317-254-0828 or by visiting joyshouse.org today. That web address again is joyshouse.org. Stick around. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing right after this.
Good morning and welcome back to Caregiver Crossing. So happy you're here on this May 21st. I'm Terry Stacy.
I'm Tina McIntosh.
Hi.
Hey.
And I am Candace Hattabaugh. Good morning and welcome back. On the music stopped.
The band.
It scared me for
Well,
a
the band
second.
stopped abruptly this time. And
Go ahead and take a break. You guys go get something to drink. We're going to do
we're
the
going to
show.
teach her how to fade. We're going to teach Candace how to fade music.
Okay.
She's doing it all, by the way. Let's give her, she's producing and writing and all we have to do is sit down and she makes it very easy. Thank you, Candace.
Thank you. That really made my heart skip for a second.
It's all right. We'll get used to it.
In studio now with us is Jane Bentley, who once you're a Joyce House caregiver, you're always a Joyce House caregiver, I feel like.
That's true.
Jane is going to share with us over the next couple of segments her story and her why and all of the things. 'Cause now she's back as a volunteer. So welcome, Jane. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Let's start with that. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and what brought you to Joyce House doorstep.
Okay. My husband, Keith, had dementia. He was diagnosed with dementia in October of 2009. And from there, we started the neuropsych testing, and that happened once a year. And finally, in 2012, as a result of that testing, they diagnosed him officially with Alzheimer's. So I was still working full-time. He was still working in 2009 when they diagnosed the Alzheimer's. He did retire a couple of months after that. He was a home inspector, he was a realtor, he was an appraiser. He did lots of different things. Very busy. Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to pause you here because I want to know, and I think it's important for listeners, did you see the signs? Everybody says there's so much more to Alzheimer's. People think, okay, they're forgetting. But that really was the initial thing that kind of got my attention. And it was one of those things that, looking back on it now, I realize it was very obvious, but I didn't want to believe that. And so I took his excuses. Because he covered, right?
Yes.
I mean, as any of us would. Like, I knew that.
Yeah. When I would say, do you not remember us talking about that? And he'd say, do you know how many people I talk to every day and things I have to remember? He said, I can't remember everything. And I thought, well, that makes sense.
Of course.
Yeah. And then it actually was a mother of a friend that he was trying to help her sell her house. And so this friend of mine was with him a lot during that time. And she called me one evening and she said, tell me if I'm out of line, but I just feel like I need to ask you, is Keith okay? Mm. And I knew right away what she was going to say. And I said, well, of course he's okay. What do you mean? What are you talking about? What happened? So she proceeded to give me all of these different examples of what happened when they were together and things that they had talked about before that he had no recollection of.
Isn't that something? Because that is really, they say at Christmas time or during the holidays when family gets together, the spouse doesn't necessarily see so much change. But when the kids come home after being away for a while, they say, wait a minute, Mom, is something going on?
Yes, exactly. Because you're with it every day.
Yeah.
And so you kind of get used to it. And like I said, I was kind of in denial and didn't want to think that it could be something that serious. And so, but that's basically where it all started. And funny that you say kids coming home because it was, our son was living at that time in California, and he came home for a visit. And he said, something's not right.
Different.
And he said to his dad, why don't we go see a neurologist just to check it out and just make sure everything is okay? And surprisingly, Keith said, okay.
Do you think he knew?
I think he had, well, I know he did, because when they finally said it's Alzheimer's, he said, so all this time I felt like I was losing my mind. I really was.
Oh,
wow.
That still makes me cry.
Well, of course it's still so emotional when you think back to it. If you could tell us what testing do they do when you go that first time and can they make a diagnosis right away, or is it
Alzheimer's?
long days of testing? And how do they find out?
It's kind of like mammographies. You have to have a baseline. And so when he went, when they did some testing, that first neuropsych testing, and I was not in the room when they did that, but it's, I guess, just a battery of all kinds of tests, or all kinds of questions and things. And I said, then, is it Alzheimer's? And they said, well, we can't possibly say that now. This is our baseline. We'll test again in a year, and then maybe
so
we'll have an answer.
Long wait between those.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a lot of things.
And even then, they didn't know. In another year, that doctor said, if you want my opinion, I don't think it's Alzheimer's. I think your brain is so full of stuff from Vietnam, it doesn't have room for anything else. So I was like, yes. And he said, I would recommend that we start at the VA and you see this psychiatrist and all these doctors there. And Keith said, I'll do anything. we got to that point, and we got all the way up to the PTSD specialist, which he had PTSD. And this doctor said, I find that if you tell me the worst thing that happened to you while you were in Vietnam, that tends to open it up, and it's a little easier to talk about. And he said, I don't need to talk about anything. I've already processed all that. I'm good. And he wouldn't talk.
It's
so it
such a common thing
that was the dead end
with those who have seen and experienced or done,
Yeah.
things that are horrible or regretful.
Right.
I'm going to go back to the testing for just a second. So they do a lot of things, Terry, that seem so simple. But I can tell you when I took a loved one in for testing, I was able to be in the room during the testing and witness it. And so they do the clock you hear about, like show me 10 after 11 and making sure people can still do the clock. But at the beginning of the appointment, they do this with a lot of just doctors who work with aging individuals. They'll say, I'm going to tell you 3 words, and I want you to remember those.
I've heard of this. Yeah.
And then at the very end, how many can you remember?
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I can still remember this particular one. It was sunset, chair, and banana. And that was probably 6 years ago.
Yeah.
But for somebody living with a dementia,
Right.
you might not even get one, by the end of that appointment. So it's
just, I wondered
interesting.
how long and tedious and frustrating it is to get a diagnosis.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And you've made me very aware that it is.
It's
all
very
of those
frustrating
things.
because I think that gave him hope. It definitely gave me hope. He said, I'm not saying it would get rid of everything, but I think it would help a lot to clear some of that out of your head.
Well, and it's a lot to share with other people in your life too. Like, is Keith doing okay? Not your friend that made that call, but along the way. Like, right, something's wrong with Uncle Keith or whoever it is.
Right.
And yes, something might be wrong. And yet we're complex humans and we forget that. We forget that it might be, that he was in a horrible war.
Right.
We forget that it might be something from childhood or it might be food, or it might like whatever.
Yes.
We forget that. And so I wish that we had an easier way to diagnose these things. You hear people say that all the time. It might be MS. And they're like, well, I have multiple sclerosis. But for a while, they thought I had lupus. They thought I had this. They thought,
Right. Right.
But in the end, unfortunately, the diagnosis does make a difference. And at the same time, you kind of live where you are. And so
that first trip to the neurologist in 2009, and they said he had some dementia, and some shrinkage of the brain causing dementia. And he left that day. They gave him a sample of medicine that they wanted him to start taking, and it was Namenda. But he's reading the packet in the car as we're driving home, and he said, oh my gosh, they think I have Alzheimer's. I said, why would you say that? He said, it says right here on this medication, this is for people with Alzheimer's. And so I'm trying to think on my feet, and I said, I've had these migraines for years. They put me on a medication that's really for seizures, but it helps the migraines. That doesn't mean anything. Don't worry about that.
that's so smart of
It
you,
was
though.
smart.
I don't know if he bought it or not, but it was the best I could come up with at the time. So,
Yeah. Oh, man, he was a special one, that's for sure.
that's one word for him.
I remember seeing him here at Joy's house checking our lattices and our railing around the deck.
Yeah.
He was
great.
inspecting.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
mean, as we went through our expansion, right? Or a remodeling of some sort. There was a remodeling maybe when he was here.
Yeah.
I remember he was alongside of us with a job. I mean, and he would pull me aside and say, you in charge? And he'd go, I want to take you over here in this room. I was like, yes, sir. Whatever it is that you want us to do, we will do.
We want to thank our sponsors, Cardon and Associates. With 20 communities owned, operated, or managed in the Midwest, and more than 40 years of senior living experience, Cardon and Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized care.
All right, we're back here on Caregiver Crossing, and I'm Tina McIntosh.
Terry Lynn Stacy.
Candace Hadaball.
You guys are cute. You know who else is here?
Yeah.
Jane Bentley.
Yes.
She's right there.
She's awesome.
So Jane is part of the Joyce House family, came to seek out services for her husband after he had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease in 2012. And then she was a caregiver for him on top of being all of the things, including a wonderful wife for nearly a decade. And so we have lots of questions. And I want to get to something that I think could be pretty hard, but what would you say to your past self? You learned a lot and you made mistakes, and that's okay.
Absolutely. And knowing that, I mean, everybody makes mistakes, but with something like caregiving where you are responsible for someone else's life, basically, that's a tough one. And I would just say, don't worry so much about what other people think. Don't try to please other people. Do what's best for that person you're caring for and for yourself. Find your voice. That was a hard one for me. And quite honestly, Tina McIntosh, you have helped me do that.
To find your voice.
Yes.
And what does that mean to you?
Yes.
That you found your voice.
That I feel like I have something to say that might be worthwhile, that might help somebody. I mean, before I just felt like, I don't know, I'm just me. I don't know anything. I've not had this experience. I don't know what to do. I don't know what I am doing. Am I doing the right thing? What are they thinking? And honestly, just encouraging me the way everyone did when Keith was here was such a help to me and was life-changing for me.
Here, meaning Joy's house.
Yes, here at Joy's house. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
And then honestly, when you invited me to speak to the pharmaceutical group, had someone told me I was going to do that 10 years ago, I would have said, you are out of your mind.
So you spoke before a group of...
they're working solely on a cure for Alzheimer's.
Oh my goodness.
Well, and here's why it was so impactful and why it was so important that you used your voice and your experience. A lot of us go through something and then we just sit flat with it. And we think about I wish I could, I wish I had. And you probably did hesitate on like, are you sure I'm the right person? Because I've met you, I know how that works. But you showed up and you sat down and you answered their questions and you were present with them. And now these people who are doing really incredible, hard work trying to find a cure for Alzheimer's disease. They're scientists. They're, these are people, marketers. Everybody was in that room.
The CEO was in that room. I didn't know that till I got home. Thank goodness.
Yeah, I remember thinking that was a good miss on our part, right?
Yes.
But, these people then left that day, Jane. I remember that very clearly saying, thank you. We have a different perspective because we met Jane. And so
that's it, mission accomplished.
Yeah, absolutely.
You did it. And so do you go on and do that now? Do you speak to others? Or you feel more confident since you found your voice?
Tell her what you're doing for caregivers here at Joy's house.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Yesterday, I had my second monthly meeting, and we call it Coffee with Jane. Where
because she's Jane and they have coffee
here,
you get it here at Joy's house in Robertsville.
Here at Joy's house. Okay. I volunteer here on Tuesday mornings. So normally I'm here at 10 o'clock. So Coffee with Jane starts at 8:30, and any caregiver is invited to just come in and just sit and talk.
Or just sit and listen.
And just sit and listen.
So we're doing that on Tuesdays going forward.
Yes.
And so
that's fantastic. Every Tuesday.
No,
she's
once a
here.
month.
Well, once a month.
Yes.
Until it gets really popular, and then it's every Tuesday.
Yes.
But until then, it's
and
once
it
a month.
already has doubled in attendance from the first week. The first week I had one person. This week I had two. So
your numbers are climbing.
Well, and here's what I'm going to pause this on that because, it's easy, like it's kind of cute, like a double the numbers. I get it. I see you. That's cute. That's 1 + 2. Look at my math here. That's 3 people whose lives you have touched and impacted because you're taking the time to sit and just listen. And so when they come into you, Jane, and they say, I'm a mess and I'm falling apart and I don't think I'm doing this right, what advice do you give them?
Give yourself some grace. Don't second guess yourself. Don't feel like you have to do it all. And I think the biggest thing is don't be afraid to ask for help.
Truth.
Because that was the hardest thing for me to learn. Thankfully, I had friends who just stayed on me, and they helped me so much. But because of them, other people then started coming out of the woodwork, quite honestly. I mean, I can't believe the amount of support that I had during that whole journey. I was so fortunate. I feel completely blessed to have been given the people in my life who were there for me.
I also think that's why, it's hard. I know Keith passed in 2019 and there's a long journey in there. And there are parts of you that are going to tear up when you talk about him now because he was your husband and you loved him and love him. And one day, can't wait to reunite with him. And there are a lot of people who don't have a circle of support and friends like you do, and they isolate themselves. It's either because their friends leave. We've talked about that a lot on the show, and that does happen. But also they isolate themselves, and those are the people who are really in a lot of trouble when their loved one passes.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I can't stress enough to ask people for help. Let them know what you want. Your book, when you mentioned in that you let people know what kind of food you'd like to have in that food train.
Be
it's
specific.
That's a great idea. Yes, be specific, because people are always saying, let me know if there's anything I can do to help. I mean, well, that's such a vague thing.
I love hearing that. I just, you all know, just published my first book called Embrace the Imbalance. And there are a lot of Joy's House people and things in there. And so I know I've learned a lot. I imagine you too.
And
I know Candace has a thought bubble.
We're going to talk more about the book next segment, so stick around for that.
We are?
We are.
Yeah, buddy. All right. Did you have another question for Jane? I know the clock's ticking here, ladies.
No, so every Tuesday, what time, Jane? Here is Coffee with Jane.
8:30 to 10.
8:30 to 10 here at Joy's House in Broad Ripple. And is any caregiver welcome?
Any caregiver is welcome. They don't have to be a guest here or have a guest here at Joy's House.
I love it.
Any caregiver.
Yeah, and if you want to connect with Jane, you can always email me at tina@joyshouse.org, and we can get you connected as well. So any questions before we have to go?
No, I just think she's, amazing. I really do. And I would love to be in, I guess I'm kind of a distant caregiver at times right now in my life. And I think sitting down with her and just listening or actually talking back and forth, whatever that is, but it does feel better to have you right here by our side. And I think everybody's really lucky at Joy's House that you're doing this.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. You should Zoom it for caregivers that can't get out. What about something like that?
Now that took a turn, and I like it.
Where they can join you too with their cup of coffee in their own kitchen, or maybe because maybe that would help those numbers to even get bigger and bigger.
All right, so we in 15 seconds or less, why Joy's House?
Oh, I tried other places. I went to other places. I toured other places. And I've told you this before. Laura's first question to me when I came in with Keith, after she took Keith out to spend time with other guests, was, how are you doing? That struck me so hard, because no one asked me that. They're all asking about Keith, which is fine. They should. But I didn't even realize how much I needed someone to ask me that.
Yeah.
Amen, sister.
Oh, it's great.
You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you weekly by Joy's House in partnership with Cardon and Associates. We're here every Sunday to bring you support, education, and hopefully a good laugh. Visit caregivercrossingradio.org to connect with us, hear past episodes, learn more about caregiver support resources in the community, and more. Website again is caregivercrossingradio.org. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Caregiver Crossing.
Welcome back to Caregiver Crossing. We are in our final segment of this week's show, so we will keep you briefly. Tina?
All right, so Candace threw at me right before we came back on, like, hey, we're going to talk about that book. And I was like, my book? So we're talking about my book.
We're talking about your book.
I have been working on a book for way longer than we're going to talk about right now.
10 years, I'll bet you.
Longer. It's so embarrassing. But
she's been talking about it for a long time.
Long time.
And one of my personal philosophies is you either stop talking about something or you do something about it.
Oh,
it's a good one to have.
It's gotten me into some trouble. I was my homeowners association president for a while because I didn't want to stop complaining, so I had to do something. I mean, literally. But Jane handed me a fun job. So Jane handed me one of my books. It's called Embrace the Imbalance, and I was like, if we're going to talk about it, you want me to read something? I need the book, and so she handed it to me. I have to tell you, it's so cute. She's read it once. And now she's reading it a second time, and she is going back and highlighting things in the book. And it is so funny as the author to see the things that Jane has highlighted.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like, just to be clear, people, she highlighted beauty and his eyesight will fade, only fight naked. Always remember that you're on the same team. Never go to bed mad.
Only fight naked. That stopped everybody. I didn't hear what you said afterward.
Well, because you're a visual learner, and now you're like, oh.
So you're not naked,
No,
having a
naked.
fight in a pond.
It all ties back into that was some advice. Why are you in a pond?
Well, that's where I fight naked.
Okay.
So I thought maybe that's where everybody else
She does it chicken style. It all comes back to chickens. I'm the author, so I'm going to tell you there are good nuggets in here, but it's short stories. And so these are a collection of stories that were inspired by people and circumstances and moments that invite us to embrace the imbalance. That's truly my highlighted personal philosophy is be great where you are, and then move into the next thing and be where you are. So Candace asked me to read a chapter.
Thank you.
Is this the time?
Yes.
Okay. Do it in a with an accent.
Chapter 14. This one is titled Everyone Has Survived Something. And I have to tell you, the only reading out loud I've done of this book is my dad. While he's laying in his hospice bed, I've read him a few chapters. So you guys are my first audience of not my dad.
Okay.
So chapter 14, Everyone Has Survived Something. When I was diagnosed with my first cancer, Jeff and I decided to have age-appropriate conversations with our kids because we recognized that what we would tell our 9-year-old and our 7-year-old needed to be different than what we would tell our 3-year-old. So we planned to tell our sweet little 3-year-old, Georgia, what was happening when physical changes started taking place. In other words, we were going to wait until the day I had surgery. It was only 30 days away, and a lot can happen in 30 days. It was somewhat of a relief because she was arguably the only person in my life who loved me and who didn't know that I had received the diagnosis. I felt a sort of freedom when I was with her. However, one day after getting out of my, yes, I'm a 40-year-old mother of 3 minivan, Georgia looked at me and said, "Mommy, what's in your body?" She knew. At the age of 3, she had heard or witnessed or somehow just knew that something was wrong. "Oh, honey," I said, "it's called cancer." She looked at me with those captivating brown eyes, and I could tell she had a lot of questions. I continued. "Our bodies are made up of good cells, and unfortunately, Mommy has some bad cells." She looked at my breast where I had worn a Band-Aid after my biopsy less than 30 days ago. A lot can happen in 30 days. She patted her own chest and said, "I only have good cells?" "That's right, Georgia. You only have good cells. And you didn't give this to me, and you can't get it from me. But guess what? The doctors are going to take out Mommy's bad cells." Her eyes got really big, and she squealed with excitement. "Are you going to cry, Mama?" "I'm not going to cry right now," I told her. "Oh," she said, "you're going to cry at the doctor?" "Probably, Georgia." A few weeks and more questions from all the kids went by, and I decided that I was going to schedule date days with each of them before my double mastectomy. My date day with Georgia happened to be a beautiful Indiana day in May. The clouds had cleared, the sky was blue, and spring was happening. It was the kind of day when the birds are singing and flowers are popping up in all the places. Before we headed to the zoo, we had to make a stop at the hospital for some pre-surgery stuff. I talked with my nurse, signed papers, and had what felt like enough blood drawn to test for every condition known to modern medicine. Georgia and I turned to our valet and gave our ticket, and we were, and sat on a bench outside waiting for my cool minivan to come around the corner. I wasn't in a feel sorry for myself kind of mood. On the contrary, I felt proud. I had my new Fight Like a Girl tank top and an unsweetened iced tea in hand. I'd just shown Georgia where they were going to fix Mommy, and I was going to take my big girl to the zoo. The zoo was waiting. The weather was perfect. We were ready. But Georgia had other plans, at least for a few minutes. An older gentleman sitting next to us was doing a crossword puzzle. Georgia turned to the crossword puzzle man and said, "What's your name?" "Bill," he said. "I'm Georgia," she said in a voice so loud that everyone within a city block knew who she was. Immediately, Bill turned to me. "I'm Georgia's mom, Tina. Hi." What if I save the rest for next week?
Let's do it. Because I am all in.
Are you?
I am.
Okay, I'll read you the next. Or you can just buy the book.
How can we get the book?
EmbraceTheImbalance.com, or you can go to either Joy's house location.
Thank you.
It's a terrific read. It is fantastic, and we're glad you did it for us too, Tina. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining us. As we close the show, we just want to remind our listeners that you can contact Tina McIntosh for more information and some resources too. If you need some help through your journey of caregiving, just send her a note, tina@joycehouse.org. Also, Caregiver Crossing is supported by Cardon and Associates with 20 communities owned, operated, or managed by the Midwest, in the Midwest, and more than 40 years of senior living experience. Cardon and Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service.
That's it for us today. If you would like to learn more about Joyce House, visit our website at joycehouse.org. And if you're curious to learn more about Caregiver Crossing, listen to past episodes, or learn more about caregiver support resources in the community, you can visit that website at caregivercrossingradio.org. All right, that's it for us this week. We'll see you back here next Sunday on Caregiver Crossing. And remember, take good care of each other.